Hey Facebook, how are you tonight? It's Monday night, almost 9 p.m. I'm getting a very late start on this live, but I'm trying to stay consistent with my Monday night lives because I feel like it's a good day to get the week started off right, to start you guys out on a good foot. But for those of you that are watching on replay, you know I want to see that hashtag replay or hashtag after party. And for everyone watching live, thank you. Amanda's in the house, a few others. Go ahead and say hello to me because I like to conversate. I feed off of your energy. And it looks like a couple of you guys are hopping on. Marissa's in the house. So, by the title, how does that pus taste, right? That's disgusting, I understand. But I really need to do this video tonight because I think so many people are in the dark when it comes to cow's milk, when it comes to dairy in general. So for people watching for the first time, if you're looking at me, you don't know who I am. My name's Sarah and I am an exercise physiologist and nutritionist, but I specialize in helping people find their healthy balance between exercise, nutrition, and time with their family. Sorry, I get a little dry mouth sometimes. I get excited, too much to say, too little time. Ryan Hasbrook's in the house. Megan's in the house. Hello, hello. Tell me how your week was. Tell me where you guys are watching from. Give me some comments. Drop some love. Drop some hearts. Drop whatever favorite emoji you have. Okay, so today was my daughter's 12-month or 1 year appointment. Like, I cannot believe she is 1 year. But Christy's in the house, crop top girl. You're going to be sporting it here very, very soon. So the doctor asked Doug and myself, and he's like, okay, so now that she doesn't really need formula or breast milk, like, what's your plan? Because he knows how I'm trying to do like vegan about like 90% of the time, if not more. But I am kind of like scared to do 100% vegan just because when she is around other kids, when she gets older and she's like in school, what's going to happen if she's like 5 years old and she has an animal product? Like, that's my only fear. So every now and then I'll sprinkle some things in there. But when it comes to choosing the type of milk that she will consume, it's not going to be cow's milk. And I'll tell you why. Dustin, Nick, thank you guys for hopping on. Now, I was in the dark, okay? So if you guys are offended by what I'm about to say, these are all facts. I didn't know about all of this up until about a year ago. And for those of you that don't know, that I am pretty much strictly vegan other than a few eggs from time to time and a little bit of Greek yogurt. But I am weeding that out, especially after some of the video footage that I just saw a few hours ago today. So I was I saw these two videos and it was so hurtful that I was literally crying at what I saw. So I don't want to get into all the specifics, but I do want to tell you that the dairy companies, it's just mind-blowing at the marketing tactics. They make you believe that the only way to get a sufficient amount of calcium in your body is by drinking cow's milk. Now, if you guys think that that's true, or you thought it was true until you saw this, drop a 1 in the comments. And if you were like, Sarah, yeah, I know this, you can get calcium elsewhere, drop a 2 in the comments. I hope I see a lot of 2s. For those of you that are dropping 1s, I'm grateful that you're watching this right now because calcium, okay, I want to do a comparison here. And I posted it on my Insta story and my Facebook story last night of my unsweetened vanilla almond milk, okay? So I drink that, and I don't really drink it. I just use it, in baking, and if I'm doing cereal from time to time. See, I knew Christy knew. But I do unsweetened almond milk. On the back of the box, it actually states that 1 cup of cow's milk gives you 30% of your daily calcium requirement. And then your unsweetened vanilla almond milk, or any almond milk for that matter, almond milk for the win, Tommy. That's what I'm talking about. So the almond milk, 45% of your daily calcium requirement. So just to show you that quick comparison, everything is fortified with calcium. Your leafy greens, your fruits, everything has calcium in it. And if you didn't know this already, there is no correlation between calcium and lowering fractures, the risk of getting, fractures. So if they've done like 1 million studies, and Cindy, my client, I think she's watching because I just saw a like come through. But my dear Cindy, she is a vegan, and she actually is the main reason why I started watching documentaries and I started educating myself on animal products. And so hopefully here within the next week, I will have completely eliminated everything, because I've done further research and it's just disturbing, the things that I've seen and I've read. So anyways, sidetracking. Yes, when it comes to preventing osteoporosis, strengthening our bones, it is not just calcium. Vitamin D and protein are just as important. And so there's been so many studies that show that in areas like Asia and Africa, where they do not consume cow's milk whatsoever, they consume lower calcium, products, if you will, they actually have a much lower risk of osteoporosis. So areas like us that we think that we need to consume cow's milk, we actually have like double, if not triple, the rate of osteoporosis, fractures, all of that. And it just is very against everything that we hear from, the got milk ads and, everything that we see. And it's really unfortunate because they're shelling out the money. And the footage that I saw today, I knew how this happened, but for those of you that don't know how we get cow's milk and what happens, these poor cows are like milk cows. They're basically artificially inseminated. They take, and sorry, I hope none of the kids are watching, but they basically do what they need to do to the bull. They get the sperm, and then they artificially inseminate this poor cow that it's like in a tight quarters. They're held down with a metal rod, and they basically artificially inseminate this cow, and then they have their child. So the only way they're producing milk is when they're pregnant. They have their child, and then they take this poor baby cow away, or the calf, away from their mom. And the footage that I saw today of this poor mother crying for her, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get emotional, because now as a mother, it's like, oh my gosh, but sorry, woo! But yeah, that's all the more reason why I'm like, I'm done with dairy, because it's so inhumane. It's so inhumane, Cindy. Like, I've never actually seen the footage that I did. And oh my gosh, if you don't see, and I don't suggest watching it for everyone, but sometimes that's what it takes to understand how cruel it is. So what do? They just keep milking this poor cow, and then they impregnate her again, just so she keeps producing more and more milk. And like with other animals, their children drink their milk. So why is it that cows, like humans, drink their milk? That makes no sense whatsoever. Can I get an amen right there? Like, okay, dogs produce milk, their puppies drink their milk. Rats produce milk, and their children drink their milk. Like, it works across the board with every other animal. So why is it that when a cow produces milk, a human needs to be drinking it? Like, there is no rhyme or reason to that whatsoever. And then to make matters worse, which I'm not even going to get into the whole vegan, like ixnay all animal products tonight, because there's so much to go into. But so tonight I just want to focus on dairy. But all in all, by the time the cow is like 4 years old, but they're so just beaten down and tired and exhausted, they can't do it anymore. So then what do you know? Okay, life of misery. Now we're dragging them to the slaughterhouse, and we're just going to chop them up, and we're going to eat them and eat the beef. Okay, so it's like from start to finish, this poor dairy cow lives a life of misery. And for what? So we can drink the milk that's not even helping our bones. And furthermore, it's creating a lot of autoimmune disorders. I don't know if you guys know this, but the risk of the type 1 diabetes. So when we're giving our young children, when they're able to start drinking milk on their own, when we give them cow's milk, then Aaron's giving me a hello. Oh, I thought you said amen, but hello, Aaron. How are you? So when we're giving our young children this cow's milk, saturated fat is very, very high. And yes, I was talking to her pediatrician today. He knows exactly where I stand with everything. And he was on board with me doing the almond milk. But he did stress the importance of giving young children a sufficient amount of healthy fat. And he knows how I am. So he's like, I know you know about what healthy fat is. Okay. So, but I think people are just very uneducated and they just think, well, okay, give your kid dairy for the calcium, which we know is just ridiculous, and give them whole milk because there's fat in there. So my sister's texting me right now and she says, how does pus taste? ? Well, girl, hop on the video because we haven't hit on that yet, but obviously it has something to do with this milk. So yeah, so I'm like, okay, avocado, peanut butter, nice healthy fats I'll be giving Presley, and then I'll be giving her the almond milk because I don't want her exposed to the toxicity and all of the extras. So it doesn't matter. Even if you get organic milk, you guys are still consuming tons of hormones. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing they can do to prevent all the additional hormones that these poor cows are ingesting, even in organic, areas that they're saying it is. But when we get those additional hormones, it increases our risk of developing breast cancer, uterine cancer, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, all of that. And what do I recommend for a calcium supplement? Well, I'll post some of my suggestions here, but really, Aaron, I don't promote any calcium supplementation. I just promote healthy nutrition with fruits and vegetables right there, and salmon, things like that, which, I don't eat salmon other than when I go out and about, which is maybe once a month, once every 2 months, I may order a grilled salmon. So that's where I say like I'm 95% vegan, but sometimes if they don't have any other plant-based source of protein other than vegetables, I may order salmon, but that's hopefully going to fade out here very soon. But you can get tons of calcium in your nutrition, Aaron, and you don't have to worry about any milk. So, but yeah, so when we consume this cow's milk, the casein in the milk actually increases the insulin-like growth factor, and this is a cancer-causing agent. Okay, so that increases risk of all this. But to get back to giving your young kids, the cow's milk, it increases the type 1 diabetes and multiple sclerosis, which autoimmune disorders right there. And that's why we need to start with our young. We need to get educated. So if you guys are wanting to have children, if you have young children, because I know people message me nonstop and they're like, I know you have a 1-year-old and I know that you are really good and really tight on her nutrition. And some people might think I'm OCD or anal, but you know what? Then call me OCD anal, but I'm doing everything I can to prevent my child from having disorders, diseases that are preventative in regards to like, okay, am I going to give her cow's milk that has pus in it? Yes. So to bring into the title, the pus. Like I said, these poor cows are stressed out beyond the limit. Like their whole job, their whole world, their whole life is just cranking out the milk. And they develop mastitis. They end up, there's pus. There's a lot of pus. And if you haven't seen some of these videos where they are allowed to, so the milk that you're drinking basically has pus in it. It has pus. And every single location, there's a limit to the amount of pus that goes into the milk that they can sell to us human beings. So yes, we are drinking pus, and that is nothing but inflammatory. Obviously, it's the same exact pus that when you have a pimple on your face and you pop that pimple, and I'm trying to be as vulgar as I can because I want you to know what you are ingesting in your body. It does not matter what you're doing exercise-wise if you do not know what crap you are putting in your body, to the point where yes, you can take every anti-inflammatory or whatever you want to do, but if you're not like nipping it in the bud from the beginning, it makes sense why we're all developing cancer and diabetes and heart disease and multiple sclerosis and all these other issues, when usually it's a very simple solution right from the start. And it started from when we were all very, very young. But unfortunately, the marketing tactics out there from, the Got Milk ads and, they were showing like the different packaging on like yogurt and things like that. And, what is it? The laughing cow. And they have like a happy cow on the front and it's laughing. Okay, no, the cows that have to do with milk and cheese and all the dairy, they're not happy cows. They're being tortured, okay? Tortured, and it's just, hey Larry, how are you? It's just not good, okay? So you're drinking pus, and we're increasing our risk of a lot of different diseases and cancers from everything in there. But, all in all, I mean, when you look at where we can get a sufficient amount of calcium, vitamin D, protein, it has nothing to do with dairy. Like, dairy actually depletes our calcium levels because of the acidity. And I don't need to get into all of that with the pH, the acidity, all that. But when our body's trying to break down cow's milk, we are actually depleting our calcium levels. So, why are we doing that? We shouldn't be doing it. And there's just a better way of doing it. So I'm trying to, yes, Larry, no dairy Larry. That's going to be your nickname, Larry. Sorry, I don't want to get but I will go back through and Liz said she hopped out when I was talking about squeezing a pimple. It's like the pus coming out of the pimple. Hey, I am sorry to be vulgar here, but vulgar usually is necessary when it really hits home. Like I said today, I watched some videos and I was sitting there crying and I could hear the cows crying out to their young that they just rip away from them and then they impregnate them again, and then it's like a vicious cycle. But I also, so back to the marketing. I cannot tell you how many people get on my case because of, oh, you're not going to give Presley this or you're not going to give Presley that because, this is, you need the, and I've stopped caring what other people have to say. And, I don't judge. If you guys weren't on here from the very beginning, I am stressing the fact that I'm not judging you because up until last year, I was eating, drinking animal products, and then my love Cindy here, watching tonight, thank you for your love. I mean, she definitely opened my eyes to watching some of these documentaries, and then I started reading and researching, and it just has changed my life. It really has. I feel 100% better, and I mean, digestive wise, you guys, the majority of the population is lactose intolerant. 75% or more individuals are lactose intolerant. Our body is not able to process and digest the lactose very easily whatsoever. So, and there's something in it. So, cheese, it's like, oh my God, I can't stop eating cheese. I'm addicted to it. Well, there's actually something in there that they said mimics one of the drugs. I mean, it's a drug that's and it doesn't have a drug in there, but I'm not going to say something if I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but you guys can pick up what I'm putting down because there is something that I will find the name and I'll put it in the comments later that mimics a drug. So it makes you want to, you're fiending for it. And it really makes sense when you have a cheese platter in front of you and you're like, cheese and crackers, give me more wine. I mean, if you guys like cheese and crackers and wine, drop a hell yeah in the comments because I would put hell yeah. That was my go-to about a year ago. I'm I will sit down, I'll eat cheese and crackers all night long and just have a glass of wine and I'm content, going to a cheese bar or wine bar. I mean, that was my jam, but not anymore. So, okay, and then just one last thing, the Got Milk ads and the laughing cow and everything. But let's talk about Yoplait, okay? Cindy, didn't we talk about Yoplait before? I think I'm missing some comments, but yeah, Yoplait. Ooh, quiet mode. Hold on. Swipe left. Oh, here we go. Okay. Susan G. Komen. Am I saying that right? Susan G. Komen. It's the whole breast cancer foundation, right? So breast cancer is directly linked to dairy consumption. Why is it Yoplait? It's like Flip the Lid or something like that. Susan G. Komen Foundation. What's that all about? What's that all about? If you guys like understand why a company that's trying to support breast cancer awareness and find a cure is affiliated with a yogurt company that is the reason that typically people get the breast cancer coming back again and again, that's a little bit strange, right? Again, what I'm talking about, marketing. You guys, don't be fooled by it. You are smart people. Do not be fooled by the marketing tactics. And this is something I'll get into when I do the vegan, like the full out, like all animal product video, which I'll probably do next Monday. But the American Heart Association, so the number one thing, they actually linked processed meats in with cigarettes as like, what is it, type 1, or not type 1, but like group 1 carcinogens. So processed meats and dairy, I think, was right underneath, or dairy, I don't know, Cindy, do you know what I'm talking about? But I don't know if dairy was right there with cigarettes, but processed meats. Anyways, that's the number 1 cause of blocked arteries or arterial sclerosis. And I used to work in cardiac, so that's kind of near and dear to my heart. No pun intended. But on the American Heart Association website, they have heart healthy meals, and 50% or more have meat, red meat. Like, what the heck is that all about? It's just out of control. I mean, like, it's really funny when you step back and you think about it. It makes no sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. And so now, as an adult, you're like, okay, I am an adult. I'm a smart individual. I am able to tell when I spot BS. And now I know that it's BS. Just because it's a paid advertisement, it can still be false. It can still be junk. They can be lying to us. And that's really where it's sad, because people just listen to whatever they're told. I mean, hell, I could be talking to you right now. I could be like, the sky is pink. And it is, because I say it. And unfortunately, there may be like 1 or 2 people that are like, all right, maybe tomorrow the sky will be pink. She says, I mean, like, come on. But we've all listened to things that were false, and we believe them at some point or another. If you guys can recall something nutritional that you have seen marketing for and you fell for, go ahead. I think we're on a 4. Drop a 4 in the comments, because I would drop 4s a million times, because it's just mind-blowing. But so the 2 documentaries I watched a year ago, it was right after Presley was born, and I remember Doug and I were watching. First it was What the Health, and then Forks Over Knives, because again, Cindy is like telling me these things to watch, and I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, Cindy, I like my meat. I like meat. I like cheese. I don't care. And then I watched it, and then that was when I was nursing, you know, and I'm thinking everything, well, hell, I mean, I'm sorry, but as a pregnant individual, everything you put in your body goes straight to your child. So I wish I would have done my research long before. I really do. Because, you know, I mean, I don't want to say the harm is done, because my child is healthy and she's perfect, because every mother's going to say that about their own child. But I mean, now it's whatever, in nursing, everything. So I looked at Doug and I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. We're cutting it. And of course he said he was going to do too. And then that lasted, I don't even think it started. So if he's watching this on replay, then there's always a second chance, buddy. Always a second chance. All right, so, and I'm missing a ton of your comments because I just am. But it's all about the money, the ching ching. Yes, Cindy, you're right. You're right, and I'm off balance, but it really does not matter. So, everyone, thank you for spending your Monday night with me, and hopefully I didn't take too much time. Sometimes I get talking on tangents, and then an hour goes by. So, again, thank you for your time. Drop any questions you have in the comments. Cindy can go back through and answer them probably quicker than I can because I'm still new to this whole thing. But it really is an interesting process doing all the research, and I am here to just relay all the knowledge back to you guys because I don't want to just keep it all to myself. We got to spread the knowledge, but spread the health to you, but especially to your kids, okay? So have a great week, and I don't want to say have a great week. Make it a great week because you know I am all about being assertive and doing it no matter what comes your way. You can make it a good week, okay? Lynn, I'm just saying goodbye, but I'll see you tomorrow. All right, everyone, have a great week. Make it a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.